Alrighty, so I just finished getting carried in the Stars Delusion, the newest one, and I got a lot of requests to talk about the runs that I do, and so I figured I'd go over that now. Sorry, there's no audio for the combat part of it, but I'll add some music and stuff. So let's hop into it. So this the first one, it's basically my job to break the first wave. We should all be running omens, and the lancers are super valuable here as well. We actually break it really fast, which some of my other runs were breaking pretty slowly. You have to be careful on this one. It likes to spam percent hits, both red percent and purple percent. So basically everyone on the team needs to be running mend. And we're gonna just 3 uni here. Now keep in mind Beans, Onyx, and Kuro are crazy strong. So we're able to go really far with just these 3 unis. So the darkness is 160 buff to attack, magic defense, and defense. The Sam Seal, the one that I threw, Sam is light elemental attack and status ailment. And then the Athena is ability power. As you can see, I am using Shadow Weave and Cloud Cutter as my main damage. And the monster likes to throw, each of these waves will disrupt your field. And so in every instance, we have something to take care of it. So we reapply the 160 buff. I throw Aqua. Aqua is great because she applies Overcast, which will time extend after like 120 seconds, and she reduces incoming damage. Overcast is really powerful. We also threw the field, the allied field, that star field will make it so that we can't get lethargy, frail, or abstraction. Those 3 are massive because they basically they basically prevent you from being able to attack proc, defense proc, and they turn off your passives so you can die to things like reflection, which this monster likes to do. So the second one is Stun and Despair, so I'm just gonna Despair spam. Oh, and we also threw an enemy field. That enemy field that we threw was specifically because it'll slow down the monster so that it doesn't move as often, and it reduces their stats by 40%. Now, a lot of these monsters like to reduce the incoming damage coming, clear all of the debuffs on themselves constantly. So you can't really apply minus 80% buff or minus 80% defense or magic defense on a lot of these monsters, but they can't do anything about the enemy field. Right there, more of the same, except for we threw in a Minerva as well, which gives us 50% more stats on top of everything else. The new crown is absolutely crazy. And as you can see, we just plowed right through this one. Now the third one, this is where most people will die. We need to do cost down, which is why I'm running Ninja. And we also just need to attack it. The penetration is pretty easy because we have penetration from the monsters that we threw earlier. As you can see, it's already broken. And we're throwing more of the same. Now the only thing that I'd like to point out here is the Percival, the 40 cost monster. That one gives us vital strikes. So not only are we applying vital strikes to the enemy, when I use Shadow Weave, I'm applying it to the enemy monster, but also we're applying vital strikes to our side as well. So it increases our chances of hitting those blue numbers, which are an extra 50% damage. As you can see, those numbers are massive. When you see the blue ones, those are the vital strike hits, and those numbers are massive. And that's why I'm using Shadow Weave. And honestly, I'm pretty much getting carried in this run. Normally, I would run a Morpher, but considering how strong Beans, Onyx, and Kuro are, I am not even an 8 mil. Well, I am an 8 mil split on both sides. And when you're running this quest, you definitely want to main slot procs that give you a chance of healing when you deal damage, because a lot of the times when you end up dying in these quests, it's because the monster percent hit you and then went straight into another like a piercing move, something to disrupt you. Again, we're throwing the Minerva 160 buff from Darkness. We have the field. Same thing again here, and same thing again here. So we're applying, we don't want to get hit with abstraction. That's the biggest thing. Now, we don't have the star field, which would be extremely valuable because it prevents us from being abstractioned. So if we get hit with abstraction here, we would just kill ourselves because it'll turn off your reflection reduction, and then the monster will apply reflection to himself or to herself, and then you would just kill yourself. So abstraction, that's why the SAM is so powerful, because it gives us additional status ailment resistance, and it's just a numbers game. Honestly, sometimes you just lose. I didn't show you guys, but we probably ran this 5 times total, maybe 10 times. Honestly, I didn't run with this group too many times because we got really lucky, and they're also extremely powerful, Beans, Onyx, and Kuro. So the reason why I'm not mentioning Aggie is because we were joking around. Both of us got pretty hard carried on this one. But Aggie was definitely stronger than me. He was a 9 mil split. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. We're just pushing to the end. The main thing that you have to watch out for is every single time that you reach about 50% on each of these waves, it will turn off your allied field. And when the field either runs out or gets disabled, that's when you can die. That extra 100% buff to your stats gives you so much extra defense. So that's why we kept throwing whenever that field disruption came. That's why we would throw that monsters then, because there's no way to get around it. That really does hurt. And somehow we managed to clear before the 8-minute mark. So that put me 7 minutes and 18 seconds. That's a pretty good time. Shout outs again to Onyx, Aggie, Beans, and Kuro. They're awesome. And these are their stats. I mean, when you're talking about mega whales, I mean, these guys are the carry beasts. So that's me with the new back gear. I wanted to show off my stats at least. So I am roughly 1.2 in both attack and magic attack. These are the 5 monsters that I used, as well as you can go back and watch what what our other teammates ran. And then I wanted to show you as well, these are my stats. As you can see, I am not that strong, but the players that we were running with, they were between 16 and 20 million for dual scaling. I mean, they were much stronger. Only Aggie and I were under the 10 mil mark. The other 3 were well above that. So just keep that in mind when you're running them. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you guys later.